Alright guys, well, welcome to this episode of Squirrel Garage. We are packing right now for, turn some lights on, for autocross this morning. Let's see, cars outside, ready to go, packed on the trailer, trying to get all the GoPros and other cameras ready to go. I did not film yesterday of all the last minute stuff we had to do on the white M3, so I apologize for that. We just did not have time to do all that. I did pick up some new wheels on Friday afternoon, and tires were mounted on Saturday. So, I did that, and I changed out a few little things on the back of it, but that was it basically. But let's jump out to the car. I'm gonna finish packing. See you guys in a second. Car's loaded. Can't forget my helmet. Car's ready to go. Gonna finish packing. I'll see you guys on the road. Oh, sorry. New D-Force wheels. New Hankook RS4s. Got those mounted yesterday. So, she's ready to go. I'm gonna wipe down the windshield. It was dirty yesterday, and I want to make sure it was clean before we leave. But, see you guys there. Guys, we made it. Car's still on the trailer. Have my MK Motorsports shirt on. There's a bunch of cars, some Formula cars, everything. Everybody's starting to get here. I'm going to go register, and then we'll unload the car and get everything situated.
Alright, go ahead.
We're back on the 240. As you saw in the last video, we got it all primed, prepped, and ready to go. We have it all taped off here. We are going to start spraying paint today. We're going to wet sand the primer all the way down and get the car all smooth and ready for paint. As you see, the cat likes to jump on it. So we have our tent up. About to make a makeshift paint booth here so we can paint this thing and get everything as far as paint laid and start getting this thing back to a finished product. So let's get to it. I'm going to drape some plastic around all sides to create like a little makeshift paint booth because I'm painting in my driveway. So let's get to it and let's drape some plastic. now that we have our makeshift paint booth, as you can see, works pretty good. It's a little windy today, but it's not horrible. We are on the last steps before paint. So what we have left to do is lightly wet sand everything. I'm using 2000 grit, just enough to knock it down, make it smooth, anything that imperfections, anything like that. And then we'll tack rag it and degrease it and get it ready for paint. We're gonna lay some paint tonight. So, you know, weather's really hot. I'm gonna hook up the fan eventually, start moving some air around in here. But we're getting closer to laying some paint on this car. So, let's get to wet sanding. Okay, as you can see inside this makeshift paint booth, it's really hot, which is perfect for painting. You know, I'm gonna put the fan up to keep the humidity down, but we have everything wet sanded. Everything's looking good. You saw me focus in on a few little areas up in here. That's as I was looking at it. You can see some rough spots, and you're able to see them in the light. And just sand them down, make sure they get everything smooth. Because what this looks like is what your paint's going to look like, your finish on your paint. So if this is crappy, then your paint's going to come out crappy. So, going to let this dry, then we're going to hit it with a tack rag and some alcohol and water mix with a clean rag, wipe the entire thing down and get it ready, and then we'll spray some paint here in a little bit. So we've let this dry about 20 minutes or so. I have a clean microfiber here. I have some alcohol and water. Just gonna spray it on the car. I put holes in the top of the bottle, it makes it easier. Then all we're gonna do is wipe it down and get everything. You see how dirty that is? It's all on the paint. So we're gonna wipe all this down. Then we're going to let that dry, and then we'll hit it with the tack rag, and then we'll be ready for paint. So this is going to get all the residue off, anything you see that will leave marks and stuff. Give us a nice clean base to paint on. We'll take one more lap around with the clean side of the rag. Make sure we get every little particle, every little anything that's going to be where we're painting, so that we get a nice clean surface to work with. And after you get this done, we'll let this dry all the way through. Come back with the tack rag, and we'll start spraying paint here in a little bit. I'm gonna keep this in the where'd it go? I'm gonna keep this in the paint booth just in case. Once we do tack rag and everything, if anything gets on the paint, we can wipe it off and get it prepped. So let's let this dry, I will set up, I'm going to start when I paint, I'm going to start on the roof line, midway, and work my way this side, that side, work my way that side, and then work my way down with my can. I'm kind of short, so I'm going to get a stool so I can stand on, so I can reach everything, and work my way from the center out. Okay guys, well, we're ready to paint. Everything looks good. We have the whole tent set up. It's ready to go. I have my can. I've broken the bottom. So we're going to start on the roof, midway back, that way, and then work our way down and around. I may not be able to keep the camera in here depending on how many fumes come in. I don't want the camera to get all painty on it. Trying not to touch the paint at all, and we'll see how this comes out. First coat's going to be a light coat so that we get a nice tack layer, but not too heavy. As you can see, it's coming out nice and laying down really flat, which is what we want. So I'm just going to blend this in down here and do that. Along the back, we're going to jump to the other side, do the roof over there, and then we'll work our way down and around. My painting technique is not perfect. It's not professional. This is literally backyard painting at its best. But it's coming out great. The finish looks amazing just for the first coat. But we have many more coats to go, and a lot more paint to lay down. I'm hitting some key areas that I know I'm seeing as I'm painting here, but 90% of this is coming out flawless. So we'll let this first coat sit up. Go ahead, plastic. There we go. Okay. So we'll let this sit up. We'll let this sit up and give it about 10-15 minutes to tack up, and then we'll come back with the second coat, which is a little bit heavier, third coat, so on and so forth, till I'm out of paint. Well guys, as you can see, I sprayed the second coat on. We're about to do the third coat. Second coat came out really good, but we need at least 3 coats on, which will allow us to wet sand everything and still have some margin of error so we don't burn through. So we're going to do the same thing as we did on coat number 1 and coat number 2. Tap the bottom of this can And by the way, this is the Pro XL, which I showed you before on the wing in video number 1. So this is a Pro XL, 2K clear, everything's inside. Pop the bottom, and you're able to spin it. You'll shake it, and again, we're going to start in the middle, work our way out, do the same thing on that side, and then work our way down and around. So, we'll shake this can up for a good minute or so, and then we'll get this ready and prepped to go. Once this coat is done, we are done. We can actually start taking off all the masking and all that kind of stuff, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it sit overnight and set up, and then once it's dry to the touch, I'll come back and pull everything off, because I don't want to fuck with the paint and get fingerprints or anything on it. So we'll do that. So let's get to spraying. So there we go. We are done. That is the final coat. As you can see, let me take you off this. That is the final coat. It looks really, really good. Good paint, good coverage, good everything. So, we'll let that set up and be good to go. The plastic is separate from the tape that tapes the actual window mullion. So I'm able to pull this off first and crinkle this stuff up and get rid of this prior to the other tape. So as you can see, the color came out pretty good. Almost a spot-on match. We will have, the stock panels need a lot of polishing, but it's not that big of a deal. It's just going to be one whole wet sand process. But as you can see, when I pull the tape, you want to pull up and away from what you've already painted. So as I'm pulling up and away, that's pulling any paint that may be stuck on the tape up and with it. So we're able to pull all of this off at this point, all the rubber, all that stuff, and pull it all off, and we'll be able to clean all this stuff up and be good to go. Okay, well, while we let the 240 dry its last coat, it's going to dry all night, all tomorrow. really it needs like 16 to 24 hours to flash over and really kick off and cure. So tomorrow, sun's gonna be out, it's gonna be hot tomorrow, so inside our little makeshift paint booth, that car is gonna bake and it's gonna come out beautifully. Once that all cures and sets up, if there's any spots that need attention, we'll hit all the painted spaces with 2000 grit, and then we'll polish, buff and polish and the whole car and get it, you know, flat looking good. And then we're gonna go through and we're gonna actually give every panel of the car, even the ones we didn't paint, we're gonna hit with the buffer and bring the whole car out to a beautiful shine, and you know, get the new rotas put on and everything, so we can slap that together, adjust the suspension, and the car is going to be good to go. But while the paint's curing, we are going to take care of the taillights. James picked these up. They're not the best finish quality. Someone has painted black. All your black here has been painted, and all the actual lights are really scuffed up. So what we're going to do is we're going to wet sand and see if we cannot bring this finish out. And depending on how this black is painted, we're going to see, we might have to tape this back off, paint all this black, and then clear coat the whole light. But we're first going to sit here and spray with our soap and water mix. And what am I using here? I am using 320 grit wet sandpaper, just to kind of knock down everything to see how these are going to clean up. You know, they got some roughness to them, and we don't want any of that. We want super smooth tail lights and everything to look right. So I'm not sure. It appears like this black might be coming off, but because it's got some high spots. Whoever did this painted, like taped it off, painted it so there's a ridge on everything. So let's get this sanded down, wipe down, and see what we got here. We might have to repaint this black. It's looking like it. To get a good finish, we're going to have to repaint this black, I believe. So we'll still hit this with the wet sandpaper to clean up the actual lens themselves, like the exposed lens, because they needed some work as well. So we'll get all that knocked down and get the ridge of the black out of there, and feathered out, so that we can, in turn, we'll go back and tape all these off and repaint the black and re-clear coat the entire set of lights so that they all look the same, and they look OEM, and they'll look brand spanking new when we get done with them. So let's finish wet sanding all these and see what we got when we get done. we have the lights all sanded down. They look all uniform, one color. You know, one finish, shall I say, not one color, but one finish. They look really good. What we're going to do now is tape off all the actual red and orange and tape it off so that we can paint the black in the same paint we painted the car before, so that everything's going to match on this car. So what we're going to do, we're going to start by taking our tape and making ourselves a line and getting that taped on there. We have a X-Acto blade to cut accurately, boom, so that we get good, clean, crisp edges. That's what we need on this. Because what we're going to do first is we're going to tape off the lights. We're going to paint all the black. And once we paint all the black, we're going to let it kick off and cure. We're going to pull the tape off, and we're going to clear coat the entire light housing. So guys, I didn't know that while I was taping all the lights off, that the camera memory card got full and didn't record a lot, if at any, of me taping off the lights. But as you can see, we have them taped off. Just used the 3M blue painter's tape and taped off the actual lens of the light. Each one had like a little kind of almost a cutout of where each light is, because of how I guess somebody painted it before. So as you can see, we have all the lenses taped off. We have a little bit of this black sandable primer. I'm going to lightly prime all the black areas, and then you know, let that set up, and then hit it with some paint, and then we're gonna let this sit overnight, and come back tomorrow. We're gonna peel off all the blue painter's tape, and we will hit all three sections of the light with a clear coat and cover the whole light, make it look fresh and brand new. So let me get you zoomed in here real quick of what the lights look like, so you can kind of get an idea of what we're looking at. So see if that focuses. Kind of dull, you know. I sanded the Nissan emblem. We have that, the blue. You can kind of see the discoloration there from sanding, but that was just getting off all the old black paint. So we have everything taped off. As you can see, there's 3 lights on this one. So we have everything taped off. Let's prime it and get it ready for some paint. As you just saw, guys, we sprayed the actual paint color on the taillights. Came out super glossy, looks awesome. So these will set up overnight, the same with the car. So we have both of those painted. This will in turn get a clear coat on top, so this will only get 1 coat of paint. Since it's covering up a black that was already there. So we'll let this set up overnight. Same with the car. Car's gonna flash over tonight, sometime tomorrow. Same with these tail lights. We'll let those do the same thing. Come back, hit it with a clear coat, just to take it that one step further. Once all the tape's off, clear coat the whole light, and we should be good to go. But thanks for watching this episode. we'll finish this car next episode, and we will get the 240 out of here. As you saw in the beginning of the video, Lynn did great at the track. Each and every race time that I had, I think we had 4 laps. Each one I dropped like a good 2-3 seconds off of each lap. Started at like 71 seconds and ended up in the was 65.7, I believe, is where I ended up. So, first time on the track, really getting used to the car again, and she performed beautifully. I think we have some R-tab issues in the back, or diff bolt. Either one, I get a slight thump in hard left turns as I initiate, but once I'm in it, I don't hear it anymore. So once the 240's gone, Lynn will be backed in, and we'll jack her up and see what's up. Maybe I have to order some more bushings from Condor Racing or something. I want to do all new bushings for the back of that car anyways. Just a little sooner than I thought, but not too bad. But I hope you enjoyed the track video. I only got one. The other two, I don't know what happened. I messed up somewhere on the GoPro, and stuff happens. But got one good run in, and unfortunately it was my first run, so it was my slowest run, and the run that I stepped the back end out on. But got to see it. More videos to come of that car once I really get into it. We got another track day coming up. Not this weekend, but next weekend for BMW CCA. So we'll be doing that one. And then I think July there's a track day at MSR, so we'll get her prepped for that as well. Hopefully I have more GoPros at that point on the car. I took 3, but only used 1. So track day, next autocross, I'll try to put some more cameras on. But thanks for watching. Subscribe, like the video. Have any questions, message me, comment below. I'll try to answer as many as possible. But that's it for this video. I'm Cody. This is Squirrel Garage.